Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. We had a meeting at 12 o'clock and it is 12:01. The clock just switched on me. So quiet in here today. We have some special guests in the house, so I promise I won't take up too much time so you can get all of their knowledge and great info. We've got a couple of announcements to make. First of all, I'm Ariel. I'm your friend. This is April 5th team meeting, Keller Williams Central. We have a new face in the house this morning. Many of you in the community know Andy Lee. Hi, Andy. I would like to take this time to formally announce Andy as our assistant team leader. He is joining us from a former firm. He has been a producer in the community, is from Burlington, long history here in the area, and a track record of success in insurance sales prior to real estate. So we're super excited to see everything that he brings to the team. So that's exciting. Also, if Miss Tiffany Ross is on, I wanted to give a reminder about the commercial training next week. Tiffany, are you there? It's not in there. Okay. Don't forget the commercial training next week. It's supposed to be a good one. Watch your calendar. If you don't know how to access your calendar, we'd be happy to help you with that. Just a reminder there. Christy May just took a big bite of a taco. Yes, ma'am. I'll give you just a minute.
I love to eat, so y'all gonna see me eating all the time.
All right. So yeah, go for it. So you wanted to talk about, yes, it is. Talk about your things, and then we'll do a super fun Red Day quiz and giveaway. So get your Red Day knowledge handy.
Hey y'all, I'm Christy May. Hey, Christy May. If y'all don't know, I like to be silly, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
Not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. I was put on this earth for that. So if you don't like it, then I can't help you there. But anyway, real quick. So don't forget to sign up. You all got an email from our local Alamance County Realtor Association. And we're not doing a lunch next week. We're doing breakfast by Grill 584. And for those of you who don't know, I don't know if she's on here, but Chloe Enoch, whoop, whoop, she serves as our Fair Housing Committee Chair for the Realtor Association. So her and Jason Scott, who is our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Chair, are putting on this fair housing breakfast. So I want all of you to sign up and join us for that. And it's just like our normal luncheons where it's $10 if you're a member, $14 if you're a guest. Just make sure you sign up by Tuesday. Yeah, that's it for the Realtor Association. All right. Culture Committee. My sidekick's not here. Whoop, whoop. So Madison's going to come up and tell you a little bit about what we got coming up. It's going to be a joint effort.
All right, so the Cultural Committee is hosting the Easter egg hunt this weekend at the Women's Center. Oh God. And it's 3 to 5. We need everybody to fill 20 eggs with whatever candy or whatever and bring it to Christy May's office. And then there was also an email, if you didn't see it go up, for the Google invite for the calendar so we can get a head count, and also a survey for the age groups because we don't want to put 2-year-olds with 13-year-olds. So if you can fill that out, please do. It's this Saturday, the Springwood Women's Center. Christy May said there's gonna be tons of balloons, so when you pull in, you can't miss it. And then there should be water and snacks provided. And then are we
This is for us, for our family and your kids. So
it should be fun. Participate.
bring your big self or your little kids.
And then that's it.
Questions about the egg hunt? Is it Springwood Park?
When do you need eggs by?
Friday,
20.
20 each. Yep. You can fill with whatever you'd like.
And just so you know, Target sells them.
If you can't come and you don't have kids, you can make eggs. Okay, for those of you who do or don't know, so at Keller Williams, you know, our motto is about culture. We are about family, and our one Keller Williams big event of the year is called Red Day. And for those of you who may not be aware, it's every year, the second Thursday in May, and all of our offices across the country and everywhere else, we spend a day giving back to our community. So this year we asked for your recommendations of what do you want to do? And thank you to everybody who provided responses. We've gotten a lot of ideas, and we have narrowed those down to 3 choices. And so what we're going to be doing is doing signups today. By the way, this is not like, will I participate? This is, where are you going to serve? Because this is our way to give back to our community. And this is what our culture and our company is about. It's not just about serving our clients, but about giving back to our community. And this is one day that we can all do this together. Now, we will have 3 different locations for opportunities for people to serve. So we also have our Hillsborough office. You've all have gotten a sign up for that if you want to participate in the Hillsborough or Mebane area. They're serving Habitat and some Meals on Wheels. Yes. And
We're going to get the energy up in this place. So we've got some giveaways and a quiz, right? And I know we've got some mouths full at the moment. So take a minute, finish your last bite, and we're going to get you fired up. Let's do a little exercise prior. First of all, what are our giveaways? We've got a 1-thing book. We've got a Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. We have a t-shirt. We are KW Central t-shirt, and we've got a jacket as well, right? So we'll do them in that order. 1-thing book, MREA book, t-shirt, KW Central, we are KW Central, and jacket will be last. All right. So get your thoughts firing and your synapses working. Laugh. Just laugh. Just do it. Laugh with me. Everybody laugh. If you didn't laugh, laugh. Look at your neighbor. I love it. All right. So everybody ought to be on quick fire mode. We're going to watch the comments as well. So those folks that are attending on Zoom, get your fingers ready and type the answer if you know it. Yeah, type the answer if you know it. Holler out if you know it here. All right. And first one to holler is going to be our winner. We ready? All right. So the first question is, can anyone name what the acronym RED stands for? Can anyone name what RED acronym stands for? We've got an E and D, but not an R. So close. I think we had it back in the back. Tori and Emily Allred, you get to decide who the winner is on that one. Okay. Awesome. Good job. Renew, energize, and donate. So the Red Day acronym, RED stands for renew, energize, and donate. Possibly. What's your answer? Wrong. Close, but no dice. Okay, question number 2. Everybody ready? Is everybody ready? My Zoomies ready? When is Red Day this year? 2022. We got it in the back. Madison? Yeah, I think Madison had the win on Amy for that one. Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, Madison. If you want to trade it for another book, if you've already got it, just talk to us. We'll work it out. Question number 3. Everybody ready? What is Red Day in honor of?
Flo Anderson's birthday.
Joe Don Baker in the house. You didn't tell me the answer before that one. I said close, but no dice on number 2. That was number 3, Pete. I think we could probably work out a t-shirt there. All right. Last question number 4. This is for a jacket. It's water resistant, wind resistant, pretty nice jacket, right? You've seen a couple of us wearing them. Last question, get your typing fingers ready. What did we do? There's 2 answers to this. Both answers have to be provided. What did we do last year for Red Day?
We did a blood drive and we delivered goodie bags to the elderly.
How many? You answered, but I believe it was over 200. Okay. Yes. Red Day last year, we donated enough blood to Red Cross to save 26 lives, which was pretty amazing. And we delivered over 200 sunshine bags to our seniors in assisted living that have been so isolated through COVID. So awesome. Thanks for playing. Quick little video that I want to show from Red Day. This is from KW Emerald Coast, I believe. And I feel like this is just one of the best depictions for what Red Day stands for. You're good.
We've always done volunteer work from where I'm from, but this is a whole new level for me.
It feels amazing to be of service to others and give back to the community.
It's a Keller Williams thing where we close our offices for one day and everybody goes out and serves the communities in which they work.
That's part of what the Keller Williams culture is giving back to the community and giving back to the people that give to us.
There's so many times we get caught up in work, we forget about all that. And this is the day that reminds me to do that.
When you do take the time to give to those who aren't in a position to do for themselves, it's just a really humbling experience.
We don't always get a chance to stop and help out, so it's a nice reminder that we could do this more than just one day a year.
I am absolutely thrilled just to be here and a part of Keller Williams. And that actually warms my heart to be here serving today. I actually seen some people that I know.
The amount of people that give of their time and their money, a lot of our agents donated checks. And while they're not here, a part of this is because of them.
It means a lot just because we come from a family that struggled as well, and we're in a really good place now, but growing up we did struggle a lot. So to see people coming together and giving back is huge because we know what that feels like.
The thing I love about Red Day is being able to get with all my other agents and people that work in the office and be able to do something for the community.
To do something constructive and productive for our community.
This year we're making bunk beds for kids that are sleeping on the floor.
You know, just experience of homelessness my own self. So I know what it feels like to not have a bed. So to be able to help these kids out today, to give back, is the honor.
It changes their lives, and that to me is what Red Day is about.
We get to go out and help something that's gonna live on. And once we plant these things and they get nice and big, it's gonna live on and we'll have lots of new sea life around.
It's very exciting. It's a good experience for people to have, and it's something everybody should at least do once.
The family I'm becoming part of at Keller Williams, and just the laughter.
If you put it into your community's gonna give it back to you.
We all have to give a little piece of ourselves in order to make the world a better place.
If you can make someone smile or make someone, just one person happy, that's all that matters.
Join Keller Williams and then learn what it's to be part of community.
We love KW Red Day!
We love KW Red Day!
Part of the reason why they help so well to stabilize the shoreline is they grow through rhizomes. So you see these little kind of reddish points. They'll send these out and they grow pretty quick.
So how did I
And we love KW Red Day. So will you join us with the rest of the Keller Williams agents across the country on May 12th this year to give back to our communities and to come together with one another? All right, we have some guests in the house today. I know you are so excited to hear from Miss Ashley and Mr. Kevin Lay, who have built an incredible real estate business. Come on down and tell us about it.
We're excited to be here, except we were up really late. Do I have any Carolina people in the house?
Uh-oh.
You know, they talk about politics, but maybe we should be that way with sports today. I'm a Carolina grad. It was not a good night.
So any questions you receive, if you'll just repeat them back into the mic, make sure that our Zoom folks here.
Okay.
I'm going to ask some questions to kind of get things going, and feel free to jump in at any point. Zoom as well. If you want to jump in at any time and ask questions, we'd love to open the dialogue. That's what makes it the most fun.
Okay. All right, you guys, first of all, most important is, do I have it on? Is it on? Hello. Okay. We're in Winston-Salem. So when you don't want to drive to Winston-Salem, send us your referrals to Winston-Salem, okay? That's Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point, Kernersville, Lexington. We are actually located just south of the county line in Davidson County, and that's our bread and butter. So we would love to serve you guys. What about us? What is important to you guys? Let me let you talk. Let me let him talk for a second to find out who he is.
First disclaimer is that Ashley went to Carolina and I went to NC State. So I like red.
I went to as many state games as I did Chapel Hill games because we were dating back then. So that's the thing.
Have to talk because I'm a pirate.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. We were at a game you may not have even been born when they tore down the goalposts at NC State, the ECU, back in the day. That was in the 80s. Yes. Thank you. 1983. Yes. 1983. Yes, ma'am. I remember that because we were there in 82. All right, guys. All right, why does it matter that we're up here to talk to y'all? Well, I spent a lot of years being a Pop-Tart agent. Does anybody know what a Pop-Tart agent is? Oh my goodness. Yes, that's right. Jump and run. You want to see house? Okay, let's go. I had an amazing opportunity in 2014, and a man by the name of Blake Ginther reached out to me and said, we are starting a market center in Winston-Salem. Are you interested in being part of that? And the best decision of my life was the day I said yes. And I am a lifelong learner. I dig in and I'm always wanting to learn something new. So Keller Williams was like Disneyland to me. And there were so many opportunities and so many things I attended, so many classes, so many ways to grow. And I learned really fast that I was doing it all wrong. And I'd been doing it all wrong for 8 years. Do you know how lucky you are if you started your business at KW? That's a big deal. I feel like I wasted 8 years of my life. But coming here, I figured out real fast that, back to the doing it wrong, and I had to make changes, and changes are hard. How many of you are doing this on your own by yourself without any help, any leverage? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you have one assistant? How many of you are the assistants? Yeah. How many of you are running a team? Any teams in the house? Just one, two, three? Okay. That book, MREA, is still relevant. It's still very relevant today. And if you haven't opened it up lately, it can change your life. What are the biggest needs in this room? Because I don't want to talk all day about us because I'm a high D and people don't want to hear about me. I would rather share with you what we've done to overcome things that you guys are stepping in right now and stuff you're dealing with and stuff that's making it hard. What can we help you with today? Yes.
So some of us like that are newer are obviously starting at a really good time and super busy last we had. So as we expect a shift, anytime it's coming, what should we be doing to make sure that we can sustain?
We've been talking about that all the last 2 weeks with our company. I'm gonna let him answer this.
So the question, if I understand it correctly, is starting in the business and we know the shift is coming, what as a new agent can you do to be prepared for said shift? And we got on a mastermind the other day and Gary Keller himself started it with, we're in a recession. And it was like, wait, what? And I study economics. I have a minor in economics, and I geek out on economic stuff, inflation, interest rates, the treasury yield. So I look at all this stuff. And sometimes we talk about this stuff and it's like, oh, wait a second, the market's great, the market's terrible. It's not a matter of when it's great or when it's terrible, it's how you address it. So when, there's so low inventory, y'all are dealing with multiple offers, I'm sure. Can I at least get a head nod? Yes, I know I'm boring some people. But as the interest rates go up and people say, and we see inventory go up, go out and find those buyers that said, I don't want to get in this market. It's too difficult. I don't want to deal with multiple offers. There's too many people to compete with. Those are the people that you go grab now. So it becomes don't sweat it out that it's changing, just change your strategy to deal with it. And read the book. That's the shorter answer.
For some more specific things that we're telling our team is you have to change your scripting. And it's, Mr. Buyer, that the ones that aren't really motivated, you've got that rate lock letter that we got a month ago. That's only good for 30 more days, right? We need to get you in a house or under contract on a house in the next 30 days, because that could jump a whole %. Because a month ago, we were at 3.5, and now we're over 4.5. So change your scripting with those people. Also, getting sellers is really hard in this market because a lot of people have refinanced their houses at, under 3%. And they're going, why would I do 4.5 or 4.75% on a new house? So you just have to get tactical in finding people. We're doing things like now we're doing an hour ahead of an open house. We're doing a 1 to 2 special preview open house for the neighborhood. And you can, we have our ISA team calling around the neighborhood. And then also sometimes our buyer agents going out and knocking doors. You guys can go knock the doors and hand them a flyer that says, hey, we're inviting you to a, wine and cheese or a charcuterie board and refreshments at, from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3. Also, you don't have to do it on Sunday or Saturday. Sometimes we do it on Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, going into the evening, 4:30 to 6:30. But get purposeful on finding those sellers and doing activities that will bring them to you. I love this thing that I was told one time by John Maxwell at a mega camp. He looked at everybody in the room and he said, If somebody tells you there's gold in your backyard, what would you do? You dig, all right? What would you do in addition to digging? You what? That's a strategy. Anybody else? You might grid it off so that you try each little section of the yard until you find the gold, right? And you do that repetitive activity of digging in that section until you hit the gold, because he just told me there's $10,000 in my buried in my backyard. I'm going to find it. You would be real motivated if you knew for certain there's $10,000 in your backyard and you were going to find it. Why don't you feel the same way about lead generation and finding the people that are going to say yes? Because with us, maybe 1 in 12 people tell our ISA department yes. So why would you not be making those calls every day? Because the boring becomes, you have to get comfortable with boring and repetitive, because that will pay off. That's the real thing in the shift, is you just have to be even more purposeful. And if you're doing 1 hour, you got to do 2 hours. If you're doing 2 hours, you've got to do 3 hours. If you're not comfortable on the phone, look at your social media, see whose birthday it is, start a Facebook message conversation. What plans do you have for your birthday today? Not just, hey, happy birthday, start conversations. You just have to do it. My dad always said, get up, show up, get up, dress up, show up. He told our kids that for years and years and years. You have to treat this business like a 9-to-5 job and more. So, is that helpful?
Now, one other thing I didn't want to miss is Ashley said she wasted her first 8 years, and that's not quite true, because she was very successful. She started in 2006. I know the dates, right? And as you well know, 2007 and 2008 were pretty bad, but she didn't know any better and didn't have all the books to say, oh, the market's bad. And a lot of agents said, the market's terrible, the market's terrible. And she just too hard-headed to listen, and built a business, and was able to build a business that I could come join her. And I joined her in 2018. So it is going to shift. So what? Readjust, change your strategy, lean into it. Don't worry about it. Just deal with it.
Hard work beats smarts every day, because I didn't know any better in 2008 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12. And I just worked harder every day. And my business grew every year through the shift. It grew. I've never had a year. I started in January 2nd of 2006. And I've never had a year that our business went backwards. Last year, our business increased $21 million in volume. We are on track right now. He just looked at me and went, well, if you extrapolate our first quarter, we're on goal for 75 million. And I went, no, I did the math on the percentage increase on the first quarter and did that same increase percentage on the rest of the quarters. And I got right at 100 million. So there's that. But we'll have you back at the end of the year to see who was right? We get into a lot of discussions just that way. But it sounds to you guys, I've sat in your seat and it sounds like, oh my goodness, that is unobtainable. But guess what? I was in your seat in 2014 and 2015 when I first learned about this company, and I looked at how I had structured my leverage, and my assistant was doing the role of a TC and an EA, and I was paying her, and marketing, and I was paying her the amount you would pay 2.5 people. Because I had just kept rewarding her with it was transactionally motivated, meaning every transaction she got money. And then if we hit a certain goal, she got more money. And if we hit more transactions, she got more money. And my business was growing, and I couldn't set up my leverage the way it says in MREA. And it was scary because I trusted her. We'd been together. By the time she left me, we'd been together 8 years. And taking that step to have that hard conversation Well, it actually got made for me because I hired a coach. If you're not in coaching and you have a successful business, coaching will take you to the next level, whether it's productivity coaching here in the market center, and that's what you can do right now, or it's MAPS coaching. Our MAPS coach is invaluable. It has grown us tremendously, but they kept pushing me towards that accountability piece. And I wasn't doing that in building my team. And finally, my team walked out the door on me. Our first team walked out the door, took my assistant of 8 years, left me sitting there. But guess what? My coach said, this is the best thing that ever happened to you. It was, and I built my team from there the way it should be built. So if you're sitting here and you don't have even the leverage piece yet, you have the opportunity right now to build it out just like it says in the book. Because, the thing Ariel and I were talking about when she's interviewing you guys and she sits down and you have to know, what is it that drives you? What's your big why? What is your one thing? Get that book, read it. That, if you know that, you can propel, you can, and this is my 50-some-year-old head missing what I was going to say with my point. That drives everything. And if you know that, then you're going to turn around and you're going to build that life by design that you're dreaming about. And you can do it with our company. Even if you're a single agent today, you're only 5 years away from your best self. Gary Keller says that. And I've seen Joe Don and I have been in bold back and forth now for what, all those years. I mean, I think you were in the first one I was in 2015 or 16, maybe 15, I guess. And I was a hot mess. Y'all, I was a hot mess at that first one. And I remember, do y'all know, help me, what's his name in the High Point office? His daughter and son, Marshall Morgan. Marshall Morgan was captain at my table. And he looked at me and he's like, girl, you got a lot to learn. I would come in by the seat of my pants and I was a Pop-Tart agent. I was going here, I was doing that, and I was this, and I was that, and I was busy. I was busy. But you know what? Busy doesn't mean you're effective and you're growing and you're taking the steps you need to and you're doing the things you need to. I feel like I'm rambling, but there's so much gold in MREA and it's scary to take that first step. It's so scary, and you're going.
Take us back to that because I like when you were
Okay.
sharing that with me. You hired your first assistant.
2008, I had been in the business 2 years, and I had gone, I did 26 or 7 deals that first year. The second year, I jumped to like 35 deals, and I was drowning. And I was like, I was staying up. I'd get home every night, and we had kids involved in everything at the time, because I think our first one graduated in 2009. So it was early 2008. He was a senior probably, or junior. And I'm like, I can't do this. I'm staying up all night. I got the laptop on my lap. I'm coordinating all the closings. I'm doing all of that after I got home. And at midnight, I'd close. He's, at 11 o'clock, he's going, shut that laptop down. At 12 o'clock, he's coming out of the bedroom going, shut that laptop down. And the thought that I've got to pay for somebody else's livelihood was so scary. So scary. And just like Ariel, I had a good person, Kristen Bodford, that's in Durham now. Y'all might know her, telling me, Ashley, you can do it. You can. No, that wasn't Kristen Bodford. That was 2008. That she was the one telling me I could hire a buyer's agent, in my ear later. But I had a good person at Jody Tate, if you know her, at Blue Door Real Estate now. She was saying, you need to hire somebody. And I hired somebody. And as scary as that was, all of a sudden, I did more business and my business increased. I think the next year, I started hitting like in the 40s every year. So of units. I stayed there because I didn't know how to get past that ceiling at Coldwell Banker for years and years. And then I came here. But I know many of you are probably having that conversation in your head, but you'll be amazed how much more you can do when you have that leverage piece. Got any comments on that? Y'all have any questions on that? How many of you will put up your hand and say, I'm scared to do that? Anybody admit that?
Good.
You should be. I mean, you're thinking through it. it is scary to know that's you're taking on somebody else's income and salary and life. But think about, I told her a story. I'm gonna tell y'all a short story. In 2017, late 2016 October, that whole first team walked out the door on me. So it's not been long ago. And his mother was going through cancer. And in April, she passed away in 2017. And then my aunt passed away, who was very, very close to me, and my mom's best friend, her sister. And then a week later, my only brother, my only sibling, killed himself. And you go, okay, what's next? What do I do? How do I find purpose? Back to that finding your purpose piece and what is life all about? I got in transformational coaching and my coach said, what drives you, Ashley? What brings you joy? What is your purpose? You got to find a new purpose, because at that point, by 2017, our youngest graduated high school in 14 and he graduated college in 18. So he was almost out. And it's not my kids anymore. My kids are always going to be important. They are, but they're adults now and they have their own lives. And, one of the first things, I had him on my vision board. But then I realized, why am I getting up and doing this every day? And this is back to when you hire that first person, now, if you start building, can build that life by design for other people, not just you, but other people, because you can build opportunity. And the first Lego to fall is that first assistant, the EA. And then then your buyer's agent, and then and you build it out, or your TC first. I forget exactly. Is it TC exactly first? I think. Yeah, two assistants. Yeah, your EA and your TC. And then when you can't do it anymore, you hire either showing specialist or buyer specialist, and you build from there. And I tell you what, guys, it is so cool now, just a few years past that, knowing that 20 plus people are building. We had 4 people on our team, either over or right at $100,000 in income last year. And that is really cool. I've watched these people take their kids the first trip to Disneyland and pay their cars off in cash. And I can see some of you zoned out and you're like, yeah, you can get there. You got to take the first step, that first scary step.
So what would you say it was that caused you to take those steps when you were scared?
I couldn't live 80 and 100-hour weeks anymore, guys. I didn't start this early. I was in my late 30s when I started, and I just couldn't live that life in my 40s. It was too hard. And that was kind of my reason. When I came to Keller Williams, it's always coming to Keller Williams. Kristen Bodford and my coach, Kristen Williams, at the same time, it was popular then, said, read this book. And it was Miracle Morning. And at that point, I started following Miracle Morning religiously. And at that time, over a couple of years, I lost 60 pounds. My business grew just unbelievably. And my faith got better. My relationship with my family got better because I was spending more time with them. But it teaches you in the morning to get up earlier. And in the mornings, you do several things that are specific. And Gary Keller was preaching this book at the time. So if you haven't read Miracle Morning, get that book and read it. And it makes you be purposeful with your life and purposeful with the things you do. Your health is huge, because some of you are young and some of you are closer to our age. You can't not be purposeful with your health at this age, or you won't have it for very long. So that whole running around and just chasing business and chasing that whole life, that whole Pop-Tart agent life.
And to throw a little bit of different perspective to this is, sometimes when you're supposed to make your lead generation calls and you don't want to make the calls, what we've talked about on our team is make the calls because the people on the other end need you. They don't need a crappy agent. You have been trained, you're an expert, and you're confident in your abilities. And there are a lot of agents that are not good. So do you want those people to deal with crappy agents? No, take care of them, make the call. By the same token, we're talking about hiring an assistant. Well, if you look at it from okay, I need an assistant. Well, also look at it from there's somebody out there that needs me, that you can help them. Our director of operations is fantastic. She has really helped our business. But it also comes from a perspective of what we've been able to provide for her is fantastic because she hated the job that she was in. So always look at it too, well, also, I guess, that, hey, if I can get somebody, I can also help them. So back to helping our clients, helping the people that we bring into business with us.
Yeah. If you've made the decision to maybe go that route, but you don't know how to do it, we have this amazing course called Career Visioning. Just go take it. And it walks you step by step by step through that process. And one of the things that a big takeaway for us with our team is take a really long time to hire and do it right and get the right person in the role. And when you figure out you've got the wrong person in the role, act quickly, take them out. They can become a cancer. They can mess up your culture so fast it will spread. I didn't do that initially. I didn't take the steps. I was scared to have fierce conversations. It's another book. Write it down. If you haven't read the book, read Fierce Conversations. It teaches you how to have hard conversations with people in a productive way. There's another book that was real impactful on my journey to getting here, and it's called Halftime by Bob Buford. And it talks about that at the point in your life, like say you're in your 40s and your children are grown and what's next. It helps you figure out how you can leave a legacy and how you impact others and how you give back, because truly making a difference for all those people on those team is what feeds me every day. And serving people in our community and helping, like I'm president of our chamber, and we're very diligent about helping small businesses grow. This is something y'all can do for business right now. You don't have to have a team to do it. As a single agent, take your phone, walk into a business and say, can I do a highlight on your business today? And as a live shot on my social media site, and do a live with them on your social media site and promote it. And then say, here's my, social media address. Here's yours. Let's cross promote. Do it around town. That's what we do. We do it weekly with businesses with our team in the community. And I've had businesses, I've got one, she just moved into the shopping center down from us that we're in, and her business has grown. And she's personally pulled me out of the last chamber meeting and says, I just want you to know what a difference you've made for my business because of all the promotion y'all did when we opened 2 years ago. We feel like we're really, that made a difference to help us get started. And now we're flourishing and, they're moving over here near us in a bigger space. There's so many places you can make a difference in this position and in this role. And that, for me, that's my thing. That's what feeds me.
I've got two questions for you. So the first one is the one thing that I hear, the one common theme in the entire story so far is that you've been relentless about your personal growth, right? Before anybody else.
That's a great word for it.
There's a book that I heard about recently that I got on my list. Everybody's an Idiot.
I haven't heard that one.
How do you keep yourself focused and moving forward when it feels like everybody around you are the ones that are failing?
I know. All right, go ahead. No. I'm going to let him answer. I'm sure he's got some funny answer because he's comic relief. Y'all, if you haven't noticed, his name tag says cruise director. He is the secret sauce. He does have the highest. All the agents love him. Let's just say we had astronomical growth after he came. No, I'm constantly, I have Audible on my phone and I'm always, it's like, and I have the subscription that I have to buy books and it tells me, okay, you need to buy another book or you're going to lose a book. So I'll buy another book. And so I'm one of those people that my brain never slows down. So I have to have something. And so I'm listening to that, or I'm reading something, or I guess it's a natural curiosity and that lifelong learner thing that I've always, I'm always searching for what's the next best thing, what's the next best way to do things. Since we grew to the point we got into Gary Keller's mastermind, like I'm constantly telling him, I'm like, I've got to go to it every day and see, okay, what is it I'm missing? What is it we can do next? What is it to do right? And I don't know, it's that drive that I have. It's internal. I can't teach that drive. It's grit. There's another book, Grit. Angela Duckworth, amazing book. I know he's got some.
I'm just sitting
He's
over here.
always
I'm sorry. I was laughing. You said, what is it about when people around you are just idiots? We built a house. We have a propane stove. The stove is missing a part. Because this may be recorded, I'm not going to mention the brand name. However,
Oh, it's LG. It's
Okay.
LG.
thanks.
I feel strongly.
So
There's
it's
strong feelings there.
we had it installed about October of last year. We can't use our entire stove because of a missing part. Now, to hear Ashley talk to LG, it is almost comical because every conversation, they say it'll be there in 7 to 10 days. It'll be there in 7 to 10 days. One time it did come in 7 and 10 to 10 days. It was the wrong part. It is a disaster. So Ashley is a perfectionist and she doesn't suffer idiots or incompetence very well. That's why I'm here. I sometimes am just the fire extinguisher on the fire. So back to finding right people for the right roles. I'm happy-go-lucky. I thought I was having a heart attack on a flight to Miami on July 4th of 2018. It's not a great feeling. I'd already signed up for real estate school, and we thought, well, maybe I'll end up in the real estate industry because I'd spent 30 years in the textile industry. Well, after that experience, I came to the team and she had put me on the vision board. So it's her fault that I'm in real estate. But I have enjoyed and worked, I'm not a great stand up here and speak, but I do have a good time. But do enjoy your job, do help people. If you can't, find another job that you can, period. If you think this is the right job, read the books. One of the questions that Ariel prompted us with is, what would you tell a new agent? Well, I do that a lot, actually. Let's ask questions. Be relentless on your questions. Ariel is a maps coach. You got a resource right here. Ask the questions. But what if you're a $50 million volume producer? Ask questions. We went to this in family reunion. I sat at table with teams much, much, much larger than ours. And what did they do? They ask questions. It's not difficult. You just got to put in the work, but do enjoy it.
The Gary Keller Mastermind Group, you would not believe their private Facebook page, how many people like Sarah Reynolds, Ben Kinney. I mean, there's people in that room that we are the teeny tiny fish swimming with the giant whales in that room. But they ask dumb questions just to see what everybody else is doing. Things that I don't want to say dumb questions. They ask questions that you think, well, they know the answer to that. Well, they do, because they're trying to figure out what is everybody else doing? Where are you finding success? What is it that's helping you in this area? So you should use those resources. And I know this sounds like basic advice, but it's the truth. I mean, if you're not digging in and attending those classes and utilizing your resources and picking people's brains, you're shorting yourself. And one of the things I did my first 2 years at Coldwell Banker, and I'll tell you this, guys, because I went to every major producer and I said, can I take you to lunch? And I wanted to pick their brains. Do you know how many of them out of about 10 of them I asked did it for me? 2. Now, later, when I was at Success, I asked them why they wouldn't go to lunch with me back then. And they said, well, quite honestly, like 90% of the people wash out in the first year. So we didn't know if you'd make it. We're not like that here. At least I doubt anybody here at KW is. That's not our culture. And people ask me, not very often, but probably 4 or 5 times a year, someone new in our market center asks us if we can have lunch with them or if we can, sit on the call for them for an hour or do a Zoom with them. And we do it. You have people here ahead of you. Always have somebody somebody told me early on, always have somebody to chase. Fortunately, Blake keeps up in his game and we've been chasing him for how many years now? 7, 8? Chasing him this whole time. Every time I think we're close, he gets further. But I always have somebody to chase. And and take advantage of those resources around you.
So we did have another question. How big is your team?
Okay. You're much better with spouting off what all we have.
We have 5 buyer agents currently, and I'm the director of sales. That's another role, if you will, for the buyer agents. 3 listing agents. Ashley takes care of the listing agents. We have 4 current administrative and 3 ISAs. We have a director of operations that keeps us all sort of in line, and she takes care of the script practice in the morning. Our basic week looks something like we do script practice 4 mornings a week. When I first came to KW, I thought that was dumb. Why would anybody want to do script practice?
Script and role play.
Script and role play. It usually ends up to being in a what happened yesterday, and some buyer agent says, I had a client and what should I say? But 4 mornings a week, we go 30 minutes on script practice. I went to Ignite early on, and the instructor was actually on a script call right before he did the instructing. I thought, well, at least he's committed to it. This has helped our team so much. And the reason is not necessarily what to say, but so you'll have something in your back pocket so you can actually listen. So here's a weird thing for you. If you learn scripts, learn them so well that you can listen better. So we do scripts. I do mine with a buyer's agent. Ashley does hers with the listing agents. We have a team meeting. It's about an hour long for our immediate team. And then we do one-on-one sessions each week with each agent and our director of operations with each
Our
admin.
leadership.
And actually, you are not in production any longer.
We are both not in production. We serve as the director. We were both the director of sales for our team for each side. Because we have a director of lead gen role, a director of marketing, director of operations, as you heard. And then actually she's just been promoted to director of growth. We're moving into expansion. So we'll be filling her role again, probably near the end of the year. Last year we did 65 million in volume with, I think it was 64.8 exactly, with 5 buyer's agents in the role, I think, or 4. I can't, anyway, and 2 listing agents last year. And we just increased some of those. We hired 3 people and then down one agent this year. So.
What questions do y'all have?
What's your compensation for buyers?
They are on a 50-50 split. And then if there's our inside sales are involved, there's a little bit off to them. But without that, it's 50-50 split. Anything else?
Sure, and we're happy to answer direct questions like that.
Yeah, there's no dumb questions.
When you were just starting out, I've been in the business part-time-ish, but now I've only been in it full-time for a year. Like you said, you had some, especially with the way that the market has turned in the last year. I was listing half and helping buyers half, but now it's more because listings are not there. I've shifted to dealing with buyers. And you do feel like you run around with your head cut off. I'm very weak at like organization and stuff. And I find out that you'll look back and like, God, it's been 3 weeks since I contacted them. And you sort of feel embarrassed when you call them because, I mean, you don't want to make them feel like they're not important. How did you, I don't know if you ever had that issue, but
100%.
How did you overcome it?
How did I overcome that? Wow. I went to KW and I learned what a database was and setting reminders. It's leverage too. I mean, it's my sense of urgency. I believed in my head did not allow me to drop those people, but it was amazing. The more leverage I got, the more people in the roles, how then all of a sudden I noticed how many people had fallen through the cracks. And when you sometimes reached out, oh, I walked in at True Homes and bought a house, you know, it's getting back the time to be in your 20%. They talk about that in the one thing, the 80 and the 20. You got to stay in your 20%. You got to be doing the things that those calls are the things that bring you business. You chasing people to yet another, I don't know, going to another inspection, going to another, just all the things. That's not keeping you in your 20%. And when you have someone in the role to cover that for you, even as if you're too scared to hire somebody, do y'all have something like we have Base at our office that will do your transactions for you. They will do your transaction coordination, contract to close for you. That alone can change your life when you're at the point you're at, because you do need to spend some time focused on getting those listings, because you're not chasing people around as much when you're with listings. So that's Gary says, leads, listings, leverage. Build your business that way. Leads, listings, leverage.
If I may, I'm gonna hold that just a second. And it's as simple as making reminders. Our personalities are very different, but in that they're very alike. And it's like, what's in front of us, we do right now. But if we make a purposeful, we like to use that word, a list, and then a reminder, whether that's off your phone, on your calendar, whatever it is, the gold is in the follow-up. That's where it is. And we do it all the time. It's like, did we talk to those people? Did our SCs talk to those people? That's a lot of time spent to make sure that they don't fall through the cracks. Because if they've raised their hands once, they're much more likely than all these people driving up and down the road over here.
I think Tammy Junkst was coming to our office this past week to do a database class. Or maybe it was Zoom, I don't know, but I just saw it. And she chunks it down into segmenting your database. And part of that is, every single person you start working with, they go in there and then they get reminders set and they get a plan attached. And even if you're not to the plan part yet, just making sure you set those reminders so that, hey, I sat down with them and we signed, or maybe you're not to the point that you're sitting down and doing the buyer consultation and signing at the table with the buyer agreement. But wherever you're at, that you put a note in there, that's the part we're not good at, because we're not good at organizing. And I was never good at that until my hand was forced. And I realized if I want to grow this business, I can't keep losing people. And that's, we got good at it. Who was, I think you were next.
The Duke fan in the back.
So my question is, if you have listing specialists, do you go out and get the appointment, get the listing, and then turn it over to them? Is that your role?
No, I am not involved in that at all. They are, if a call comes, I still get personal calls on my phone often because of how many years I did this. My phone number is not published anywhere anymore, but there are still people that have it. And if my phone rings and I get it, I turn it over to one of my listing agents. And I basically tell them, I'm like, look, these people are better than me now. They do this. In fact, my listing agent was number one in the market center, and we're number one in the triad. So guess what that means? She's the number one listing agent in the triad. And she's been with me 6 years, and she's going to take care of you better than I could ever take care of you, because this is her one thing now. And I'm busy running the team, and you want her because she's going to help you. So I sell those people to whoever calls me. And then there's other people. We have that inside sales team setting appointments. And then our buyers agents are constantly handing over listings to the listing team, and they pick the best personality profile based on the disc is kind of how we do it. But no, I'm not involved in it anymore. Good question. Correct.
Obviously, based upon the last few minutes, you obviously read a lot.
I do.
I wanted to ask you, what is your go-to book for lead follow-up and conversion as far as systems, programs, and becoming more structured?
Shift first at MREA. I mean, the whole first half of MREA is theory, and a lot of people never get past the first half. But the second half, if you really study it, is full of that. It's full of models and it's full of systems. And shift is amazing, even when you're not in a shift, to give you ideas on what to be doing. So.
I mean, I've got the leads coming.
Mhm.
It's just becoming more and more structured in order how to structure those leads, make sure that you didn't jot it on a piece of note paper, now can't find the note paper. And the programs and systems, how to put them in place to do it.
She's asking for you guys on Zoom. She's asking about how to figure out the systems and models to put in place to deal with the business that's coming in. That has been crowdsourced for me. And when I say crowdsourced, it's I go to everything offered. Like sometimes they'll do a mega agent regional class. Go. Sometimes they'll do a, I don't know, something in Charlotte with a lot of the region. Go. Early on, I figured out that back to that chasing somebody, figure out who's just ahead of you in production. If you're doing 5 million in production, who's doing 5 to 10 in your region that you can hook up with, and then you do masterminds with them, or you just call them and pick their brain, or you go out to dinner with them. That has been huge for me in knowing what's my next step, because they've already taken the step. Don't recreate the wheel. You rip off and duplicate. That's what we do at KW. So, but that's
and specifically we use Sync for our database and Sisu for
but
our number
Command's
suite.
great for 90% of y'all. Just I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Sisu, it's SISU.
But we are also about to leave and go to likely follow-up boss. If some of you are in a bigger group, we're getting ready to change databases. Anything else? I think we're out of time.
Thank you all so much. And when you said something there at the very end that I wanted to touch on, that if you're, I like to say it like this: if you're running for city council, you don't go to mentorship with the president, right? Because it's like Ashley said, if I came to you and I said, hey, Ashley, I really want to shadow you on a listing appointment today, you're going to say, I'm the worst listing agent ever. Please don't shadow me. Right? If you're anything like me. And I know that I'm that way. So
agents now are so much better than me.
Yeah. And I love that. I love what you said about that. Like find the person that's the next best step, and figure out what they're doing possibly that you're not doing in your business. And that's going to be individual and custom to each of you. I think the point.
They can get in their car and drive to Winston. If you don't want to ask somebody in your market center,
Yeah.
come to Greensboro, come to Winston and ask their TL, who's just above me. I need to talk to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And frankly, we don't have anybody in this market center that's doing 100 million in volume. So thank you so much for spending your time and sharing your wisdom with us today. Ashley and cruise director Kevin Lay. Don't forget, send your referrals to Winston-Salem if you don't want to take the drive up that way. I do have two quick little things that I want to share. Matthew, I see you back there now. I didn't see you when we first started. Thank you for keeping our bellies full today and taking care of us as far as Geico and insurance. And we're grateful to have you as our sponsor. And then the other thing, Dimitri Sawyer won our productivity coaching contest last month, and we have got a ticket to Bold for you. So thank you everybody for being here with me today. I hope that was valuable, and we will see you next time. Go sell something. Oh. And sign up for Red Day. Yes, please watch your emails. If you're on Zoom, Red Day information and signups are there as well.